Okay, now, first question I got, let's see, I got 5.5. This is a 5.56 dash 3. And first of all, is it a test question? And that would be yes. So, but I'm going to read it to you like it's supposed to read, okay? The way they've got it read, you don't know what to do unless you're just, lucky or, you finally figured it out. Given the function, and I'll show this to you, when I get finished writing. Given the function from 2 to 8 of f of x dx, what are the new limits using U substitution? That is how it should read. So I want you to write this down because that's how it should read. Instead of, let's confuse the hell out of the students that are using this book. So, let's see what the function is. I need to write down the function. U is equal to x squared minus 6. So the lower limit is equal to parentheses squared minus 6. The upper limit is equal to parentheses squared minus 6. Plug in a 2, plug in a 8. 4 minus 6 is negative 2. 64 minus 6 is 58. Now, you see how they can confuse people? Somebody sent that question to me because they were confused. Is this confusing? No, it's not confusing. It's just the way it's written. Negative 2 and 58. Negative 2 and 58. That's it. Any good movies this weekend?
No, I started watching Loki though. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's not the best, but it's okay. I just like Loki.
I saw The Hunt on HBO Max. That's a pretty good movie.
The what?
The Hunt is
Yeah,
about.
that was a controversial movie.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, that was a controversial movie. The timing of that movie was not very good, but I've never seen it. Trying to think of something else to watch this weekend. I can't remember. Oh well. All right. So here's the next question.
And
Let's
Lansky.
5.5. Let's do 6.3. 6.3. 42. 6.3 42 slash 5. Is this a test question? Oh, yeah. So I'm going to let y'all write it down. I'll be writing it down myself. What's the first thing you want to do with this problem?
Graph it.
Graph it. And I would do it on the graphing calculator, unless you just love graphing e to the x. So y is equal to e to the x. Y is equal to e to the negative x. x is equal to 0, and x is equal to the natural log of 10. And it's about the x-axis, rotating around the x-axis. All right, so I'm going to give y'all a minute or two to get it started, because this is a test question, so you need to know how to do it. And we've also done this in class, and it's on the videos, but I realize that people don't watch the videos, so we'll do it over and over. Heaven forbid y'all use the videos. That would be using a resource, wouldn't it? You know what y'all would be saying if I didn't record these classes? Y'all know what y'all would be saying?
What?
Hubert, you need to record these classes and put them on YouTube. That's what y'all would be saying. I'm going to sketch it. There she is. So there's our region that we're looking for. And that's going to be a ring, so we're going to have to subtract, a disc, because we've got this and this. So it's going to look like a washer. So V is equal to the pi, 0 to natural log of 10. Which one's the dominant? Which one's the outside diameter? Remember, you're going around the x-axis. So which one is the outside diameter?
E to the x.
E to the x, and you're going to square that, minus e to the negative x squared, because that's the inside diameter, dx. Okay, now all it is a little bit of calculus and a lot of algebra. So go ahead and do your little bit of calculus. You're going to do a little bit of algebra first, and then a little bit of calculus, and then a little bit of algebra. I'll give y'all 2 minutes. So V is equal to pi from 0 to the natural log of 10 of e to the 2x minus e to the negative 2x dx. And the derivative of these two is going to be, and we've already done this in class, so unless you didn't pay attention or you didn't watch the video, the antiderivative of e to the 2x would be e to the 2x divided by 2. Remember, I put parentheses around it that day when we did it. Minus e to the negative 2x over what? Negative 2. Evaluated at 0, natural log of 10. Now we gotta do one thing, because that negative and that negative makes a plus. So V is equal to pi e to the 2x over 2 plus e to the negative 2x over 2, evaluated at 0 and the natural log of 10. So, and just for those people that don't know what I did there, these two negatives make a positive. And now we've got V stock market is down another 400 points today, or was. I don't know if it still is now. V is equal to pi bracket e to the 2 parentheses over 2 plus e to the negative 2 parentheses over 2.
Let's slide your thing down, please.
Sorry. Minus parentheses e to the 2 times parentheses over 2 plus e to the negative 2 parentheses over 2. And we're going to plug in a natural log of 10. And a 0. And a 0. And if you notice, I didn't mark out my 0 here. I didn't put an X in there because when you take the natural log of something to the 0 power or e to the 0, that's 1. So you can't just cancel out 0 this time. And we discussed that last time we did this problem. And that's going to be e to the natural log of 10 to the second power over 2 plus e to the natural log of 10 to the negative 2 over 2 minus 1/2 plus 1/2. And what happens with the e in the natural log? We discussed this last time we did this problem. What happens?
They cancel.
V is equal to pi 10 to the second power over 2 plus 10 to the negative second power over 2 minus 1/4. V is equal to pi 100 over 2 plus 1 over 2 times 100 Y'all check my math as I go. So V is equal to pi, and that's 1 over 200. So I need to get a common denominator of 200. And 2 will go in there 100 times. That'd be 10,000. Again, check me. And V is equal to pi 10,000 and 1 over 200 minus, well, we gotta have gonna be 50 over 200. And what is that? 99.51. Somebody check me. What is 10? Forget it. I'll just do it myself. Y'all not going to answer me no matter what. Minus 50. 99.51 over 200. Now, I did this problem like 3 times. And the book gives you, they take another 100 off. I don't know why. I don't know if they simplified. I don't know what. They get 98.51 pi divided by 200. No? Okay, well, okay, evidently I got it right. I don't know why I couldn't get it to, okay, there you go. Hell, I don't know what the answer is now. They got 98.01. So I don't know. I need somebody to check my math because I thought I did everything correctly. Did anybody else get 98.01? Anybody? Well, let's check our
How about the
calculator.
check?
I'm sorry, what? Let's check the calculator.
I just said I had to double check.
I'm gonna check the calculator. So let's go with math, antiderivative, and 0 to natural log of 10. And just to be safe, I'm going to punch in my, I'm going to hit vars function, and it's going to be y sub 1 minus y sub 2. Wait a minute, I got to square it, haven't I? I got to square it too. So I've got to go in and square that. So vars function y sub 2 squared. So I got to square both of those. Oh my goodness. Hold on a second. Okay, so I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna hit second insert parenthesis and then parenthesis, second insert parenthesis to the second power. It may not like this. Minus second insert parenthesis, second insert parenthesis to the second power. Wait a minute. Yeah, dx. Okay, somebody take 9951 and divide it by 100 and multiply it by pi and see what you get. I'll do it. 9951 divided by 200. Yeah, that's not going to be it. Multiplied by pi. But I don't think their answer is it either. 9801 divided by 200. 9801 divided by 200. Yeah. Oh, they did that. They did get 9801. It did. So I've got an error. So somebody find my error. Anybody see it? Because I don't. $99.51. They got what? They got 9801. I have no idea where they did. I leave something out? I've done this problem like 3 times, so I need somebody's eyes to see it. Is there anybody else? Did y'all get 9801? Yes or no? Come on, it's just a simple yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know what I've done wrong, people. And I could not get 9801. I couldn't get it. So either the problem is an error or I've got an error and I've done it 3 times. So did anybody get 9801? And out of 17, 18 people, nobody, one person says word. Thank you. Appreciate the communication, class. That's really nice. Mr. Lowry, what did you get?
I just joined after this problem, so I don't know.
How did you, for your 10 to the negative 2 power, how'd you get 1 out of that?
I brought the 10 to the negative 2 downstairs. 10 to the negative 2, bring it downstairs is 10 to the second, which is 100, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that leaves the 1 up top. Like I said, I did it twice before class, and I couldn't get their answer. And I did it a 3rd time just now, and I got the same answer. So if anybody finds it, I wish you'd tell me because I have no idea. Say again?
Oh, I just said I don't see anything wrong with it.
I thought with all the zeros, with all the 10s, that I might have a 0 off somewhere. But I checked it twice. And 1/2 plus 1/2 is not 1/4. Oh my God, there it is. I just saw it. 1/2 plus 1/2 is 1. There's the problem. I just saw it. So this is one. It's one. So instead of getting rid of 1/4, we got to get rid of be minus 200 over 200. And what is 10,001 minus 200? That should be 9801, should it not? Or 10, yeah, whatever this is, 10,001, 10,000, I'm going to make sure I do it right. 10,001 minus 50 minus 200. Now I get 79.51. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I just can't get the answer to come out right. I'm looking again to make sure. Well, that's supposed to be a plus. Okay, I see where I went wrong. 10,001. 10,001 minus 200. There we go. I found it. No thanks to y'all. I found it. That right there. This 200 needs to go right there. 200 over 200. There we go. The whole time I was saying 1/2 plus 1/2 is 1/4. I apologize for that. I was multiplying them in my head. 1/2 times 1/2 is 1/4. Can't believe y'all didn't catch that. And I did it 3 times. Oh well. We're allowed to make mistakes. If we didn't make mistakes, we could walk on water. All right. So let's do another one. This is 6.3. 6.3 45/6. 6.3 45/6. Is it a test question? Probably not, because it's asking you to do it twice. But it's 2 good test questions because there's 2 questions in one. It's asking you to revolve it around the x-axis and asking you to revolve it around the y-axis. And that's fine and dandy, but I probably wouldn't give it to you as 1 question. This would be 2 good test questions. So for the region bounded by y is equal to x, the x-axis, and x is equal to 2. Find the volume around the x-axis and around the y-axis. And compare them. So go ahead and get to it, graph it. I'm going to give you 4 minutes. Well, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. I want to see how far you can get in 5 minutes. That biscuit's in there. Try to find my clock. 5 minutes. All right, that's 5 minutes. And there is your area that they are wanting to find. So, around the x-axis, you basically got a disc. Okay? So it's going to be looking, you know, like that top, like that. So volume is equal to pi from 0 to 2, parentheses squared, dx. And volume is equal to pi x squared 0 to 2 dx. And that's going to be x cubed over 3, evaluated at 0 and 2, multiplied by pi. And in this case, what happens to the x? It cancels. So that leaves you with 8 over 3. So your volume is 8 pi over 3. And all of you should feel good about yourselves. So go back to the handy dandy 8 pi over 3. All right, now do it around the y-axis. You're going to have to make some adjustments. Because remember, when you're rotating around the y-axis, this has to be in terms of y, and since x is equal to y and y is equal to x, you don't have to change anything, but you have to use the y instead of the x when you do the actual calculating. You can't put in x because you're doing it around the y-axis. You got to use y and dy. And you're talking about this here from 0 to 2. And yeah, technically it's going to be, you're going to be taking, yeah, I'm just trying to, the x squared is, it's going to be 2 minus x squared, because technically your radius right here, if you were to draw it, would be 2, but then this radius would be the actual function of y. So that's going to be 2 minus y squared. So I'm going to set it up. I'm going to let you look at it, and we're going to set up y. So that's going to be v around the y-axis equals pi 0 to 2, because 2 is equal to 2. This is y is equal to 2, of 2 squared minus y squared dy. All right, go ahead and do that. Now, there's two things you got to watch out for here. Three things. And we're going to highlight them in pink. That guy right there is not always going to be the same as your x. This guy, you have to remember you're subtracting from that guy, and this guy has to be in terms of y. So we're going to write those three things down. Upper limit is calculated at x is equal to 2. What happens when you plug in x is equal to 2 into y is equal to x? What do you get for y? You get 2. But what if this was y is equal to 2x? What if you had y is equal to 2x? From 0 to 2. What would this number be right here if you had y is equal to 2x right here? Somebody tell me. I'm sorry, you blurred up. What?
1v1.
Well, x is equal to what? 2. So what if you had, instead of y is equal to x, what if you had y is equal to 2x right here? What would this number be?
Is it not 4?
It would be 0 to 4. Yes. So you need to make that distinction. I don't know how you do it in your notebook, but when you're dealing with a round y, you can't just plug in 0 to 2. Now, in this case, it worked because y is equal to x. But on the test, if you have y is equal to 2x from 0 to 2, you got to change that to y 0 to 4 or 0 to 2 in this case. Okay, so you need to make that distinction. And when you're talking about your outer rim or your outer diameter, what's the outer diameter? The outer diameter is what? 2. Your inner diameter is the function. So outer diameter inner diameter. And then the y has to be, remember, your function has to be in terms of y when you're doing around the y-axis. These are all things that we have went over before. Okay? So, with that being said, V is equal to pi, and this is around the y-axis, pi from 0 to 2 of 4 minus y squared dy, and that's going to be 4y minus y cubed over 3, evaluated at 0 and 2, all multiplied by pi. Now, what does 0 do? We don't have any natural logs or anything like that, so that goes out, and you're left with pi 4 times 2 minus 8 over 3, and that's 8 over 1. So pi times 8 over 1 minus 8 over 3. And that'd be 24 over 3, which is equal to 16 pi over 3. And we see that the revolving around the y-axis is a little bit more accurate than around the x-axis. So 16 pi over 3 is around the y-axis. So 16 pi over 3. And the volume around the y-axis is greater. In this particular problem, the y-axis is more accurate. All right. And that takes care of the questions for today. Okay. Now, what do we got left? We got the shell. I call it the ring, call it the shell, whatever you want to call it. There's the disc, the washer, and the shell. And the shell is basically, I guess you'd call it just, the only difference is you're multiplying by 2 pi instead of 1 pi. Okay? And if you have, let's say you have a function. And you revolve around, you take your rectangle right here, and you revolve around the y-axis, then you're basically going to have a shell. Okay? And it will look like, actually, this one would look like a bundt cake. I don't know if you know what a bundt cake looks like. Looks something like that. I can't draw in 3 dimensions, and I can't draw a curve in 3 dimensions, but I can show you. It'd be easier to show you. So let's just do something like a bundt cake. B-U-N-T-D or D-T. Cake. There's a bundt cake. So it's got that curve and it goes down in the middle. Okay, so that's what you're looking at when you're doing something like this. Okay. And that's the shell. This is a ring. I call it a ring because it makes a ring. Doesn't make a disc or a washer. You could say it's a washer, but it's really not because you don't have 2 functions. You just have 1 function. And that's the difference between a ring and a washer. Okay, so how would you do this one? Well, you would do volume of a shell is equal to 2 pi from A to B of R of X, which is your radius, times the actual height, which is your function. So I need you to write down right here, what is your height of your function? Your height of your function is equal to f of x. So whatever your function is, that's the height. Now this is very important. What's this distance right here? That's the radius of your shell. And the radius is equal to x. Now that's very important. So I'm going to write that in red. because X will always be in your shell. X right there by itself because of the radius. So if you wonder where that X comes from, it's the radius. And then the height is usually going to be whatever your function is. Now, what if you have something like this? And you might want to put a star beside it. You're going around the y-axis. And let's say you have, I don't know, a function like this. Well, a function like this and a function like this. And this is f of x, and this is g of x. Well, your outer radius is equal to f of x, and your inner radius is equal to g of x. Therefore, and that would be going from 0 to a, from A to B. And that would be 2 pi A to B, and that would be f of x minus g of x, and then of course times, that's your height, and then your x would be, so that's what would happen if you were taking away or subtracting from two functions. You got to have an inner radius and outer radius. Here's your inner radius, which is g of x, and your inner radius would be f of x. Now, what if you were doing around the x-axis? If you were doing around the x-axis, it would look something like this. Here's your shell, or there's your ring. You're going around the x-axis, so it would look like that, which mine really sucks, but and of course you can see it's not really accurate because it would be more accurate to go around the y-axis. And this radius right here would be C to D, and you would have to get everything in terms of y. So with the ring or the shell method, you have to get, when you're around the x-axis, you have to get everything in terms of y. So that would be volume is equal to 2 pi from C to D of the radius, r of y, times h of y dy. Okay, and the same thing with outer radius and inner radius if you have one. And the best way to do it is just do some problems. So let's go ahead and do a couple.
It's 1:16.
Oh, it's time. It's time. Okay, we'll have to take this up tomorrow because we ran out of time. Me being in the other classroom didn't help things. All right, so continue to work on your homework, and tomorrow we will work on shells, examples. Let me get the roll. and turn off everything.